everyone. So, I definitely feel like I'm going through the emotions and phases with the official enlistment growing closer and closer. And honestly, I have rewatched the last group Weavers maybe like 5, 6, maybe even 7 different times with different reactors. And I'm dealing with everything the way that just the way I know how, which is to create things. And I told someone actually today, it's not done because I still need to do some painting. But oh my god, well, that's so close to me. I am so sorry. That. Well, this up close is better. Let's see. This is a box I made. It's a little. I was thinking about Jimin. Has some stuff in it, so you hear all this motion. Even found this. It looked like a little chick. Really reminding me of Jimin. And butterflies with the music notes, and then the flowers, and you know how they love doing like the photography, and a little bicycle reminding me of Namjoon. And yeah, so I was working on this today, and it was nice because when I used this to prop up Namjoon, I'm in a Namjoon mood, so is gonna so so today I was working on this, and because before today I had created the box and did a couple like multiple layers of painting and make it look like strong, so I could actually like put things in it and feel like, yes, you know, this can actually be used for this, instead of it just making it look pretty and me not wanting to really put anything inside because I would fear that it would not hold up. And honestly, if I'm doing something in terms of thinking about the guys, I want it to. This is way too close to me. I look like a giant, and yeah, anyways. So I was thinking to myself, I was like, if I'm gonna make something to hold things up, especially in regards to them, it needs to be sturdy, versatile, and, you know, things I think about when I think about them. So, I was like, okay, fine, this. And then I was thinking of, oh yeah, sorry, my story. So I was working on this, and then, a gentleman that, I briefly talked to, um, he had a really interesting, like, he had injured his foot, so he had his really interesting, it was like a stroller, but only for your leg, and it actually looked uh like pretty, I wouldn't say enjoyable, because, you know, having it was having like that is never a fun thing when you injured any part of your body, you know. But I told him, I was like, that looks so much easier than crutches. So occasionally when he was wheeling by, I was like watching like this, and then I said to him, I was like, you know, it just looks so much more comfortable than crutches. I actually have a client that, since I've been taking care of her animals, well, when I first met her, she had just started therapy for a really bad car accident, and then later, when she was healing from that, she had fallen downstairs, and then after that, yeah, just um she fell down a different flight of stairs. So I kept thinking, and so I've seen her go through different canes and crutches, and it was a bit different because it was, I guess, how everything was broken. So she probably couldn't use something that like he was using, because his was literally his foot. Hers was, she had a boot on. Um, uh, Start from like here to here. So I know my brain was like looking when I saw him, and I was like, you know, that's nice. Anyways, so um, and so I was talking to him, and then after that, we, sorry, my baby soda, my kitty, walked in, and yeah, I got distracted. Anyways, so I was talking to him, and he said that he really liked the box I made, and I was like, well, I told him, I was like, well, you know, I'm a really big fan of BTS, and he was like, who's BTS? And I was like, oh, they're a Korean group. And he was like, oh yeah. And then I told him, I was like, well, so by the end of this month, the remaining 4 members will be enlisting into the army, in the Korean army. And so when that happens, I create something for each member, you know, as a way to me to look at it and remind myself about them, and to, you know, and then he was like, yeah, you know, motivation, give you courage, you know, inspiration. And so it was nice, it was nice talking to someone with a similar, I guess, the way we look at art was fairly similar, which is really nice. And then so like I said, this one, I have to move my Namju. So you're not going to see him for a little bit. But he's still right there. But so like I said, this one reminds me of Jimin. Yes, I like this one. I'm about to finish this because I just figured out the best way to go about doing the spine. I did the spine on the inside, but the outer spine, for some reason, I thought one way worked, it did not. I thought another way worked, it did not. So, then I realized. So this one, so if you look at this, it looks like books, right? It's not. It's like the different types of colors and things like that. But this one, I'm thinking about actually, I'm going to English and me are having weird conversations because my brain is like trying to so it's really funny. Something that I can relate to in the Weaver's life when Jimin was talking about Tay language and like how Tay language originated because Tay had issues with like communicating and verbalizing, and so in a way that was the creation of Tay language. That was one of the things about Tay that I actually really related to. Partially because I have but it's totally different. Like, okay, so even before I had a mental breakdown, borderline psychiatric break, if you look at the very start of my vlogs, I discussed about how I use these vlogs to help verbalize again and organize my thoughts. And it just so happens that I'm able to articulate and push myself is when I'm talking about BTS. So, and one of the things about Tay was like he would express himself and verbalize, even if it wasn't always the way that I guess others would express certain things. The other guys would really try hard to try to like figure out in versions of like Tay language, and ironically, so what I was trying to say was with when I was growing up, I had trouble verbalizing, and so I would either not speak or have my own version of trying to say and do certain things. I would, instead of, I guess, a Tay language, I had people attempting to try to figure out what my language was in order to try to understand. I actually helped like 2 of my professors when I was in college try to understand Rita-ish. And I just And they're like, oh. So it was nice to know that someone can come from that sense of, I guess, awkwardness, similar to how I felt for a good portion in terms of vocalizing and understanding how to approach things and everything, express myself, that I can uh, possibly, if I work hard enough, I'm not saying get rid of it, but um, evolve from it. And occasionally, like in certain things, sometimes those moments come out of him. And he's just so. It was one of the things about Tay, about V, that I've truly, like, connected to. That's one of my, the bonds I've had with him. Since I started really looking into, I guess, like, between their stories, either in, uh, outside of music. It's just been one of those things. So, I guess what I was trying to say with the Weverse Live, where Jimin was like, I his Tay language has appeared because he's having more trouble articulating himself, and I'm like, I feel that on a on a deep level, Jimin. And I know that Tay was like, I fixed it. It's like, and tell y'all you're the best speaker now. And that just made me think, like, you know, how you can grow, and that as you work on it and you can grow. And it gave me encouragement, since I had when I was having even more trouble verbalizing again after all the things that went down, um, I came to realize that, maybe instead of just getting back to how I was, in terms of being able to vocalize and being able to talk, maybe I can, um, nudge myself a little step at a time to even be like, hey, we're good now. We don't have to. We can be like, okay, cool, and then move forward to that. I think that's what I was gonna say. Right, Namjoon? Wow, 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 wow. I was gonna just bring um the four of them to have it like right here, but um this Namjoon one actually decently reminds me of Namjoon. And I mean, all of them kind of in a way, all of those in a way remind me of them, but some more than others. But I mean, I do really like the fact that I have all of them now. Wow, oh, it makes them look so shiny. Okay, okay. So this one in Namjoon is actually on. Well, I'll move him to Jimin. But this one is, I was thinking about, this is Namjoon. It looks like a box. I'm going to I have little notebooks. I'm going to put it in here, and it's like my And now that I started how I worked on this one, the one I showed about Jimin in the beginning, I think I'm going to add more to this. Now that I think about it, 'cause I still had this space right here. And now that, and it looks like I need to repaint certain things, because, now my brain is starting to go to, so, and then inside, and this one, and then, I think this one, I still, like I said, I still need to make the body um, for JK. This is for Tay. And the way I choose the size is how I imagine, I imagine the guys, and I imagine what they remind me of. Like this one, if I end up putting like jewelry or I immediately thought of like a jewelry and then a memory keepsake for in here. It's some right now it has art stuff in it, but I immediately thought for V for Tete, I thought of vintage. And I thought of something that probably am going to. I thought of vintage, and I thought of things that can just probably put like cards in it and everything. So this just reminding me of it, and it screamed Tay because Tay's, and I thought of vintage. And I'm still trying to figure out what I'm doing for JK. At least the body of it, because I can embellish and everything. Like I said, I just did the embellishing of this today, and I think I would have done more yesterday. however however I somehow forgot my big scissors, glue. So I ended up using I ended up being like, okay, random stuff, trying to fit it together. I did end up creating something that was interesting. I, I I don't know. It just didn't. I mean, it's in the car, but it was okay. I still don't know what I'm going to be making for JK. I'm probably gonna making 2 for Tay, because one is, well, for enlistment, and one is for his birthday. So probably gonna make another not another one of this, but another in general for I love Tay Tay. And I was just trying to, my brain was starting to try to figure out what are you gonna do? And then on top of that, I usually make I plan on making one thing each for the guys for holiday seasons. Because my thoughts are, regardless of whether or not you are of faith, I do still believe in Uh, my opinion is, even if you're not of faith, like, for example, you know, even if you don't celebrate anything, I just want to keep them in my thoughts, and that's how I do it. I'm not trying to be politically correct or whatever. Fuck that shit. Like, I just don't want to be like, oh yeah, this, but no. Because some people get so surprised because I get so excited over Christmas trees. I get so excited. But, you know, that's, so. I don't know if that part's gonna make any sense, but whatever. I don't care. So, wow. That was totally, see, whoa. I'm gonna, I was thinking, I'm still going through the motions. I still have I have a lot of thoughts that I haven't organized. And I'm just trying to put all the positive energy out there in the world. Trying to think about what would BTS do. What would they say if, you know, I you know, and part of it, honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you. I was watching I want to call it more like a army, a BTS ARMY like podcast, where I watched one of my favorite reactors. I can honestly say that they were my first BTS reactors that I ever watched. That kind of made me feel like this community was home instead of just, you know, a community. That, you know, you like the same things and that's cool. But made me feel like I had a spot and it was okay. And I might be awkward and weird, but it's okay, you know. And he was talking about how, I'm talking about what you gotta say. And Nico was talking about how, you know, the people that are truly like, okay, you know, not just who are really in the Bantan life or literally life. And I mean, he said it differently, but this is how it got translated in my brain. And it's like, part of me, when I was watching on their other channel, it's like What You Gotta Say TV, where they just occasionally do like you know, podcasts and stuff like that. And I really appreciate Nico for doing that. And he meant, and then I thought it when I was watching it, my original thoughts were, you know, hey, a lot of things I do, it might seem a bit strange to other people outside of that don't feel a deep connection. I'm not with that don't may not feel as deep. I'm not just talking about BTS, I'm talking about in general with something. And because occasionally when I go on my deep end and I it dips a little bit and I try to um, calm myself down or something, I get into my head a lot and I try really hard to go into my breathe in, breathe out. I mean, there's a reason I have the tattooed breathe on my wrist, right? And I was like, okay, it's fine. Breathe. But sometimes when that's not helping and one of their songs either pops in my head or randomly starts playing. That actually happened when I left Starbucks today. After I was talking to the gentleman about how, sometimes, they give me encouragement to, like, I wouldn't be alive if it weren't for them. And he was like, well, you look at them for inspiration and everything like that, and encouragement, and it's something that can't really be expressed and, explained. It just is. It's the power of art. And it was amazing how when he said that, and when I walked outside, Euphoria started playing. And all I could think about was, like, I saw the pictures of them in my head, and I'm like, and then I was like, you are the cause of my euphoria. And I can see JK in my head dancing. And, gliding across, like, but, I was like, okay. It was just so perfect. And, I don't know what station they play at that particular Starbucks, but I hear, on that station, Make It Right is like, a good amount on I've heard, Make It Right, Seesaw, Euphoria, uh, My Universe, what else? There are so many occasionally, and sometimes it still catches me off guard when I hear, because sometimes when I go to other stores, I do hear BTS, but normally it ends up being like Butter Dynamite, which is cool, but I'm less startled when I hear English BTS songs. I go, oh, I go, uh, it starts tonight. or my smooth like butter. And I see that clip where the guys are over stating certain words in butter. Right, Namjoon. Okay, what was I saying? Oh, okay, so when Nika was talking about how, like, you know stay true to, like, the ones that the armies that just live lived your life influenced by what BTS stands for and everything like that. And it just, honestly, I think I said this in one of my recent videos. I mean, maybe like um 2 or 3 videos. I don't remember. But I okay, hold on. No. But I was thinking maybe there's a reason why I carry at least 2 to 3 things that reminds me of them, and part of it is honestly so I realize everything's gonna be okay. Kanchana. And I've come a long way, and even a single phrase that used to hold not the best connotation with me is now a source of comfort, because I don't hear it in my voice, I hear it in theirs. And sometimes in different ways, either through a BTS song, August D, and no, he's not really looking. Oh, I'm getting emotional. So I'm gonna work on this. Alright, I'm gonna work on craft stuff. But I just wanted to come and talk. And probably the next video might be a different one. Right now I'm doing. That's it for now. But hey.